I have a few questions in here. First question, when we see the poor, homeless, beggars on the street, are we as Buddhists obliged to give them money? If you want to. It's not an obligation. If you want to do it, then you can do it. But then I think what we're thinking of is, should we do it? Out of compassion, you want to help out the poor, the homeless, then maybe you do it. But you have to exercise your wisdom when you're doing it. You don't give your money to the wrong person or the person who may be cheating you. So you got to exercise your wisdom in doing any kind of charitable work. There could be people who pretend to be poor, and there could be people who are professional beggars who just dress a shabby set of clothes and standing on the streets and waiting for you to give them the money so that they don't have to work. Maybe it's out of laziness that they become a beggar. So you really have to exercise your judgment in doing it. Should we do it as Buddhists to give them money? As long as you exercise the right judgment. There are people who, after you give them some money, you've given him some money, he may use the money to buy drugs, to buy liquor. So I remember a friend told me that he gave some money to someone who requested for it, a poor guy, and out of curiosity, he followed that guy. And he gave him the money, and he followed that guy from a distance and found out that he was walking into a liquor store. That's the first thing he did. He walked into a liquor store and tried to get some liquor. And I'm sure there are people who are really beggars who need the money. And also there may be beggars who are also compassionate to others. Once they got the money, they may use the money to help others too. So many varieties of happenings on the streets. So exercise the right judgment. Try using the weight and water example. Are you saying that see things, people, situations as they really are, or the truth and not what they appear to be? Well, that applies not only to Buddhism. Whenever you see things, you have to see things as they truly are. Don't get cheated by appearance. Appearances sometimes is delusory. It may not appear to what it actually is. So not just Buddhism. Many people who have experiences to see things, they won't see things with just the appearance. See, when a young man is dating a young woman, I guess if they just see the appearance, it wouldn't be a clever move. Because appearance can be pretended. Both sides in a dating, in courtship, will put on the best show on earth. Using whatever is, using all kinds of things. They even use paint, which is cosmetic, to paint up the face and put illusory and deceptive eyelashes. What do you call that? Oh, everything. They would do everything to look nice. They even put things underneath their clothes. You know what I mean? To make sure, to make sure that they look the best. They put on a wig. I still remember this very humorous commercial from India that I saw, and a young man and a young woman. They were dating, courtship, and they love each other, and they wanted to get married. And so they met each other in the restaurants, candlelights, a romantic dinner. And then the man said, I really want to tell you something that is in my heart. Now we're getting married. I want to show you what I'm actually look like. Oh, you look like what you are now. No, we take away this wig. It's bald-headed, and they've been putting on wig since first dating. No hair on the top, and we call it the Mediterranean Sea head. So the young girl was all amazed. Oh, but after a while, maybe a few seconds, she wasn't amazed. And then you say, oh, you should look what I actually look like. So she took down the contact lenses and put a thick glasses in here. Nearsighted. Couldn't look terrible with the thick glasses. So they are different, but they pretended to put, in courtship, you put on a good show. And then afterwards, of course, they reveal their real self. They may not like each other, and they may have a divorce after 1 month. I yet have to see what's the fastest divorce. I think the fastest is they intended to get married, they make preparation for it, and didn't even go ahead with the ceremony. That's the fastest. In Hong Kong, it happened many, many times. The parents of both families argue on who should pay for the parties, expenses on the parties. And then they say, you pay 50%, I pay 50%. And then, no, can you pay for all of it? I don't know what happened in Canada. They started to be calculative even in the first date when they started to talk about marrying, the wedding. So some people come to conclusions, marriage is the grave of love. You have to understand insightfully what it is. I've been told by a professor, I think the course name is called unionism or collective bargaining or negotiation, something like that. And he said, you ask a question and somebody gave you a reason. There's always an underlying reason that they didn't tell you. Don't listen to the reason on the surface. Oh, I did that because of this and this and this. Actually, there's another reason behind, usually. And he didn't want to tell you that reason. Maybe it's not convenient to tell you that reason. So even words, don't take words. Don't take explanation as truth. So everything is quite conditional causation. You have to watch out. This is a society with so much intricacies. Hello, can you please describe the meaning of the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum? Oh yes, we can. I've explained it many times, and I don't mind giving you a brief explanation. Om is the mother of all sound. Om also means listen very carefully. This is very important. Here is the message, Om. In the study of mystic words, there are 3 mystic words, sounding words that are so important. Om, Ah, Hum. Om, Ah, Hum. Very mystic. Om is the first word. The mother of all sound, Om. Mani is a simile. The most precious jewel. You have that most precious treasure in you, in your heart. You have that treasure. Listen very carefully. You have that treasure in you. You don't have to look for it. You have that God in you, if somebody call it God. You have that Buddha in you, if somebody call it Buddha. You have that, I don't know what. There's something very valuable in you. So for the sake of calling it something, they call it Mani. Padme is lotus flower. Lotus flowers grows from the mud. Mud is very dirty. But the lotus flower stands aloof from the mud. It's pure from the world. So that's also a simile. If you want to find that most precious nature in you, you have to be like a lotus flower that is so purifying. You have to purify yourself in order to reveal, in order to see that nature, that Buddha nature, that God nature, whatever you want to call it, in you. So you have to purify yourself. What do you have to purify? Are you purifying your appearance only? You have to purify your action, purify your speech, purify your mind. You have good and bad actions, right? Good actions is just the opposite of bad actions. You have to purify something that is bad. If it's good enough, you still have to purify the good, but that's for the sake of just understanding it initially. You have to purify and get away from the bad things. So you abstain from killing, abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from stealing. Those are the actions, right? How about speech? You abstain from double-tonguing, from cursing, from lying, from flattery. All these things are delusory. So abstain from all these bad deeds. So if you purify your body, which is your actions, you purify your mouth, you're not bad-mouthing other people. You purify your mouth. What is the most important? Purifying your mind. You're not greedy, you don't have hatred, disappointment, fears, worries, jealousy. You're free from all those. You purify all those. Then you become a good lotus. Then you see your real nature in you. So in other words, if you want to reveal that good nature in you, you have to purify yourself. There was a monk, and he arrived at an enlightenment. And after the enlightenment, he uttered a poem, and he said, I have the most precious jewel in me. It has been covered up by dirt and dust. Now I purified it. It's one shining bright. It brightened the whole world. That pearl in you, that's the precious jewel in you. That's been covered up by your greediness, your hatred, your anger, your bad deeds. Eradicate all this. Wipe off all this by being good. Then that brightness will be revealed. So that's the mantra. That mantra includes a concept. It includes a training process for you too. You have to purify yourself. How? Well, study the Buddha's teaching. It tells you how. Om, what is Om? Om Mani Padme Hum. What is Hum? It's not Om Mani Padme Om. It's Om Mani Padme Hum. The first one is O-M, Om. The last one is H-U-M, Hum. What does Hum means? Hum means a Buddhist seed. Every time when you utter that mantra, a Buddhist seed is planted in your consciousness. In other words, then you remind yourself, I have to purify myself. I have to be good. I have to do good deeds. I have that nature in me that is all-powerful. I have that nature in me that is supernatural. I don't have to look for it. I have that God in me. I don't have to look for a God. The God is already inside me. Why do I have to look for it? It's inside me. Don't look for it. It's inside already. Next question. Wave is no other than water, and water is no other than wave. So what's the difference between nomina and phenomena? How do you define the two? Is one ultimate truth, the other is conventional truth? Yeah, if you want to fall into the labyrinth of words, whatever you want to call it, conventional truth is habitually you're thinking that way, then it's all phenomena. Ultimate truth, then it's something that is above the extraordinary. You call it ultimate truth. I guess we can't fall into the trap of language. Language itself has a limitation, but without language we cannot express ourselves. So we have to explore more into it. What is nomina? You can read up on a German philosopher, Kant, and he has a very good explanations on the two words. The Buddha already explained it 2,600 years ago on the meaning. But if you want to use modern language, research into Kant's philosophy of nomina and phenomena. For beginners to follow the teaching of the Buddha, one of the essential things that they need to practice. The essential things are so many. But if we can put it simply, very simply, what is Buddhism? All the bad deeds, stay away from them. Don't do the bad deeds. And more than not doing them, you should also encourage, for example, apart from not killing, which is negative, you also encourage protection of animals. Encourage people not to kill animals for fur, not to kill animals for pleasure. Other than negatively or inactively not killing them yourself, you encourage others not to do so. The activists who aim at protecting animals. Bears, black bear, grizzly bears in certain country will kill for the gallbladder because they believe the gallbladder is good as medicine. And so it's not gallbladder, it's certain liquid excretion from bile liquid. The bile. So bile liquid from the bile of a bear is very good medicine for certain things. That's what they believe. They catch the bears, cage them, and make a hole in their body. And every day or once in a while, they excrete by using equipment bile liquid from the bear. So they cut the bear open. Imagine the bear was there, you cut it, maybe you tranquilize the bear, or you apply some drugs to the bear and then cut it open, and the bear will be suffering. The bear suffers so much that the bear want to commit suicide by ripping his own bowels and committing suicide. Bears have animal instinct, they don't want to suffer too. It's talking about suffering. The being who's being imprisoned, and every time they take out something from you, you have to live. You live like that. You can't stand it, then the bear commits suicide. Then these people, these hunters, they tie the bear's hands to the cage so that the bears can't move. The bears can't commit suicide. And every once in a week, they extract bile from the bear. So much suffering in it. And then there was a lady, a North American lady, who went into the country and talked to these people who gave all the commercials and to stop that kind of killing. She tried everything, and she has been called the bodhisattvas of the bears, the saviors of the bears. There are people who are activists in saving. The people who are activists in saving the seal, not the king's seal, not to kill minks for the fur. There are people like that, very compassionate people, who will be leading the class when you're away. I don't know, maybe you should be. You've been here for a long time. So there will be a day when when I'm not in this world anymore. There are other people. The show will always go on. The show will always go on. No one is indispensable. I'm just a transient person coming in here and talking about it. Everything is conditional causation. It happened today that I'm talking to you. We value the opportunity. We take the chance that we're talking to each other. You look at me and I look at you. And I'm only communicating what I learned from the Buddha's teaching. All this conditional causation. When the time is up, then I'm gone. When the time is up, you may be gone too. 30 years ago when I started the Buddhist temple, I have a lot of supporters also. Lunchtime, they were listening. And I didn't see even one devotees who helped us to build a temple, who are still present today. Not even one. Did you come here 30 years ago? Raise your hand. See? Did you come here 28 years ago? Raise your hand. 25 years ago? 20 years ago? 15 years ago? Last call, there must be someone. 10 years ago? Yes? So there's only one or two persons coming 10 years ago. This is a transient world. Nobody stays, nothing stays. And because of its transiencies, we call it suffering, impermanent. And this is the time to get away from this impermanent world, to go into nirvana.